The text arrived at 7:02 p.m. Family only. Sorry. Her mother. Cold, precise, like a scalpel cutting me out of a celebration I wasn't even allowed to attend. I stared at the phone, thumb hovering over call. I didn't call, not yet. I watched my wife scroll through photos, smiling, radiant, while I sat on the edge of our couch, untouched, like an exhibit behind glass. She looked up at me. "I'll be back later," she said, slipping her heels on. The apartment smelled faintly of her perfume, expensive, familiar. She kissed my cheek. Not mine, hers, not mine. And she left. I heard the click of the door, sharp. Empty silence swallowed the room. I sat, counting the seconds, calculating. I couldn't stop thinking about the slight in her mother's tone. Family only. No explanation, no warmth, just the cold iron edge of exclusion. And then I noticed the subtle glances she'd been throwing lately. Her phone tucked like a secret weapon, sudden appointments I wasn't invited to. I told myself I was imagining it, that my mind was overreacting, but imagination is dangerous when it feeds on truth. I watched her, piecing together fragments, a laugh shared over a text when she thought I wasn't looking, a hand lingering a second too long on someone else's shoulder. I didn't confront, not yet. I made a list. Names, numbers, connections, everything I thought might explain the growing distance, the hidden world she carried with her. I spent that night quietly assembling a network, calls to people who mattered, people whose worlds intersected with hers and families in ways they'd never suspect. By 10 p.m., her mother's country club voicemail filled with a polite, inquiring tone. By midnight, her charity board heard the same careful questions. By 2 a.m., her father's golf club was quietly reviewing membership statuses. I never raised my voice. I never hinted at my reasoning. Each call was deliberate, slow, like moving chess pieces across a board where only I could see the patterns. I observed my wife the next day as she returned from the party. She smelled of champagne and secrets. She laughed at something trivial. Her mother called to share details, pride, gossip, confidence. But the phone lines were already working against them. I made notes, logged every reaction, every slip of tone, calculated the impact. Each action was strategic, each silence intentional. By morning, messages started flooding in. Her mother's country club membership revoked, charity board stepping down, golf club canceled without explanation. The calls I'd made had done their work. The repercussions were precise. And then, finally, they asked, Who are you really?" Her mother's voice trembled. I smiled, but quietly, calm, ice under a perfect veneer. "I'm the one you forgot existed," I said softly, letting the words land. She froze. My wife froze. The air was thick with sudden recognition. Documents, phone records, confirmations, proof of everything I suspected, their carefully curated world cracking like fragile glass beneath my careful pressure. I handed the printouts across the table. No emotion, just order. "Do you recognize these?" I asked. Tears welled in her mother's eyes. Anger, panic, shame intertwined. My wife looked at me. Confusion, betrayal, fear, each emotion calculated, unguarded, raw. I didn't shout. I didn't demand apologies. I didn't plead for acknowledgement. I only watched. Every lie, every manipulation, every exclusion, they collapsed under the weight of truth. I turned and left. No dramatics, no confrontation beyond the evidence, just a slow, measured exit, leaving the fallout in the room like a storm everyone else had to endure alone. I returned home. Silence embraced me. The apartment smelled of nothing but calm. No triumph in my heart, only clarity. The betrayal had been answered, the power restored.
not with fire, but with precision. I didn't need apologies. I didn't need explanations. They had learned the cost of forgetting who I was. I poured a glass of water, watched it ripple. Nothing more, nothing less. The lesson had landed, the balance restored. I looked at my reflection in the window. I was still there. They were gone. And that was enough.